Okay, okay, girl. The cheeks. Why? Why? I don't know. Hi, everybody. So, I'm kind of trying to change things up a bit. I wanted to post some different types of videos on YouTube, not just thrifting videos. So I wanted to talk about my art. I know I've never actually made a video talking about my art. So yeah, that's kind of what I want to do. Maybe talk about the progress, um, how I learned, and then show you guys some stuff. My air conditioner is on. I don't know if it's loud. I don't have like an external mic or anything like that, so hopefully this is fine. Okay, and if it's not fine, then we'll see what happens. So yeah, let's talk about it. I have been an artist for I want to say since 2011, which is the year that my daughter was born. And the reason why that's like so important is because when she was born, I was already kind of like doing a lot of random things, like creative, artistic things. And I was already working as a photographer, and I would travel to LA and here, and I was shooting at my home in San Jose. And I always liked to draw, and I wanted to be an artist. Like I wanted to be known as an artist. I wanted to work as an artist. But I just like didn't have the confidence, and I didn't have the natural skill. If you ask people that I grew up with, they'll say that I did, but I don't feel it. When I decided, like once my daughter was born, I was like, I need to make money, I need to be productive, I want to like do more for her. Drawing was what kind of like got me working again, aside from like doing photography and stuff, which was a bit harder because photo shoots are like so time consuming and space consuming. Like I had everything in my house, like I had a backdrop and I had my camera and I had my lights, but with a baby I wanted something that I could just like sit and do and her be like right next to me. So that's kind of like how it happened. And I just started drawing. I was already drawing, but I decided I was going to use like my Photoshop and Illustrator skills to do commissions. And I mean, it happened really quickly where people started hiring me to draw logos for companies. I don't know if you were in the MySpace era, then you know like a lot of people had a lot of small businesses, and it was like a really cool creative time. So you know, a good chunk of people would contact me and I would draw them up a logo. And honestly, like when I look at the old work, I'm just like kind of embarrassed. It's embarrassing because I wasn't very good. I had no education in art. I wasn't even like trying to be better. Like I was just drawing. Like I'm just gonna do it, and if people like it, they like it. I was kind of relying on my editing skills more than my drawing skills, and it worked in my favor because I got work. I got work, and I was able to draw and hang out with my daughter and raise her, because you know my goal was to be a stay-at-home mom. Looks like I have like a little piggy here. It's my dog. Say hi. Look at the puppies. He doesn't want to. Okay. So eventually I decided to make my own artwork in the same ways. Look at you. By, you know, sketching something simple and then using Photoshop and Illustrator to, you know, like color it and give it magic. Yeah, right here. And make it, I was really very into like retro style at the time, like 1950s style. So that's what I was doing. And eventually, that's how I started my online shop. And if you've been following me since then, which I mean, it's been a long time. It's been a long time. Then you know that I've also gone through a lot of artists' names. I could never really settle on anything. Like I just could not settle on a name. And I would maybe yearly I would change it. But I think the biggest one of the biggest ones was Miss V Baby Doll. That was my artist name when I kind of first started to like get like traction and people started buying prints, and I was getting more commissions and people wanted them in like my artistic style. Like they wanted to be one of my, you know, cute little girls that I was drawing. And that was really fun. That was a really fun time, but it was like super bubblegummy. And I think at the time I was working as Miss V Baby Doll as an artist, and then Sugar Brat Designs as my like graphic design business, right? Don't lick your paws. And yeah, that's where it started. But eventually I got kind of like sick and tired of like the bubblegumminess of it, the whole like cutiness of it. I don't know how to say it, because I was dealing with depression and like just not a very good time. So it felt hypocritical for me to be drawing so cutesy while feeling so lousy. So that's kind of how I started drawing more sad girls, the crying girls, and then that's when the crying girl era kind of started for me. And that was very important. That was like a huge breakthrough in my art for me. And that just like progressed. I want to say like that was a natural progression from then on. I started drawing crying girls because that's what I felt. And now we are where we are. Where are we? I don't know. I like to draw creepy girls now because I feel like that's where I am. That's how I feel. I like to draw vampire girls or like undead girls, or just like creepy and very 1920s inspired or Victorian inspired, or even some like, I don't know, 1700s inspired, or just it's been kind of the same thing for a while now, but that's where I am. That's how I feel. That's what we're doing, you know, like that's what I'm connecting with right now. I know that I've been sort of like lousy with drawing and coming out with new work and new prints, and I really thought I was like done with it, but I'm getting back into it. So I want to share some of my work. We can talk about it. I can let you know when I made it, why I made it, and what I used, right? So let's do it. First, we're going to talk about this sketchbook. I do have other sketchbooks, but to be honest, I don't draw a lot in sketchbooks. I see a lot of sketchbook videos right now. Well, my daughter does. My daughter likes to watch sketchbook videos, sketchbook tours, and people just kind of like go through them like crazy. And so does my daughter. Like, she really loves that sketchbook business, but that's not the type of artist that I am. I don't fill up a page with stuff. Like, to me, I like to draw something that I'm going to love, not just for practice, not just to fill up a page. So this is now it's considered a pretty old book. And this is the last sketchbook I think that I technically had, like real sketchbook that I've used. And I never even finished it. Like, let's see. I have like that much left. But I started this sketchbook in 2016. Can you see? Hello? Okay. I started it in July of 2016. That's almost 10 years ago, like just about, right? And yeah, I don't know. I just never finished this book. So let's look at it, okay? I'm not going to show everything. I mean, you guys probably don't want to see everything, but I'll show enough. This one, I don't really know what it is anymore. I can't remember. But I love her because I drew her with a pencil and then I traced it with charcoal. So as you can see, she's quite messy, but I love her face. I love her lips. Yeah, I always thought she was so pretty, but I never really drew anything like this exactly again. Then I started to experiment with paint. Well, I started before. If you've seen my large paintings, let's see if we can get some large paintings in here that I've done. Those are gone. I've sold them like a long time ago. So here's an acrylic painting in my sketchbook. I really like this one, but I messed up her eye. But in the end, I really liked how this looked. It almost feels like gory, which, you know, was kind of the vibe that I was going into. Also, this is also when I was doing kind of like very inspired by like the idea of queens, being a queen and royalty and the jewelry, and there'll be more like that. Here we have this celestial queen, princess kind of vibe. Very pink, not my favorite, but it's okay. This one is called Little Witch. She's a witch queen, and I actually never finished it. I never finished her crown, but she's cute. She's a cutie. This is just archival ink. So what I use is microns, which is archival, and for the black I always use acrylic paint. So I don't like to use like markers or color pencils for like lots of black, like the hair. I will use acrylic paint for that. So I think I also used watercolor on this one for the like the shading, watercolor as well. And then we get into some weird stuff. I was kind of trying to do some weird stuff. Not my favorite. This one's kind of cool. This one's kind of cool. It was very 60s inspired. Okay. We got a little weird lady. Some eyes. I really like these. I don't know why. And this next one is so funny because I drew it in the dark and I didn't realize it was blue, which I am not a fan of, but yeah. I thought it was funny. When I saw it in the daytime, I started laughing. These are just pencil. Just used like a mechanical pencil. Like little vampire girls. Just kind of when we were getting, oopsie. This is kind of when we were getting into like the 1920s style, because I had cut my hair and it was very short. I've always been into vampires, and I started drawing more nudes and kind of experimenting with like the shapes of things, and here we have this little weird snake woman. I like the simplicity of some of these because that's just like a style of art that I really like, and in the end I realized that I liked more to draw just like simple line stuff versus the detailed paintings that I had done. The detailed paintings were so stressful to me and they didn't make me happy, and this was different. Like, it's literally just pencil. I didn't want to color it or nothing. I mean, maybe now I could trace it, redo it and stuff like that, but at the time I just needed a break from the big elaborate pieces that I was trying to do, because I was trying to be a certain kind of artist, and in the end I realized that that just wasn't me. Okay, girl. The cheeks. Why? I don't know. That's just what happened. It just happens, you know? Just pen and watercolor. I only use micron. So if you see pen, it is microns, not like ballpoint or anything, because ballpoint tends to be a bit like, it's not sharp enough and it's not dark enough, and it'll maybe the ink will spread around, you know. It's just, it's not the best. This is a color pencil, just a brown pencil. Okay, now we're gonna get into some pieces that I did, that I do sell prints of to still. I think these were from 2016. If you remember these are the originals. Here she is casting spells, of course, and she's sad. This one is interesting because I decided, I think I did it with my with my left hand. My dominant hand is my right hand. So I decided to do something just weird for no reason and to see what would come out. And I thought it was kind of cool. It feels a little bit like primal, you know what I mean? Like, just, it's not the best artistically or anatomy wise, but like that was the goal. So yeah, I really like that. I think this was supposed to be for a painting. I don't think I did that though. We have some more little sketchies, some cute little faces. This is supposed to be Edgar Allan Poe as a woman. I don't know if I ever shared this one, like, anywhere. Ink, acrylic, and watercolor. She's cute. I like her. I don't know why I never like posted her or anything. Okay, now this one is one of my favorites. I think when I made this one, I was like, okay, we're doing something right. And it's so simple, but I feel like it's so me. I just love her so much. Ink, acrylic, black acrylic paint, and watercolor for the red. It felt very me. And I think that's when I hit a point where I was like, I know what I'm doing. I know what I'm doing. I know what I'm comfortable with. And I just want to keep going. And here's what I'm talking about, that I don't fill up my sketchbook. Should I show it like this? Okay. I don't fill up the sketchbook. I like to do one piece. I don't color on the back because I don't want to ruin, you know, the one before it. See. And for these, at this point, what I started to use as I started to look at antique photographs of women, and that was how we got to like the poses and whatnot. That was what I was looking at. I have a lot of books with like nudes of the 1800s or like Belloc or just stuff like that, and so I use it, I utilize it, and that's where I usually get some of my poses, or the hair or the lingerie or whatever. The spider's name, if you don't know, is Cherie. And then some pencil sketch. Yep. More sketchies with boobies. This one got messed up, unfortunately. Otherwise, I think it would have been kind of cool. Yeah, but it's okay. It happens. I didn't let the paint dry, and yeah. Now this is marker, just marker. It might even be like a Sharpie, just a little Sharpie sketch. Here we have ink and Sharpie, little goth girl. This was a sketch for painting. I did technically paint it, but it didn't come out how I expected it. People really like this one. I ended up also painting it on a purse. I sold it, and someone got it tattooed, which was pretty cool because I really liked her. She was very like Tim Burton inspired. Here we are, more crying, more boobies, lots of lines, shapes, just ink and probably Sharpie. I don't know why I started using Sharpie at this point for the black instead of the paint. Maybe I was out. This is a self-portrait. I don't like to do a lot of self-portraits. I don't know, it's just like not. I know a lot of people say that like, oh, that looks like you, but I don't do self-portraits, and when I do a self-portrait, this is what it looks like. I felt at the time like a monster. I don't know. Sometimes that's just how I feel. So she is self-portrait. I really like the lines. I wanted to keep the lines straight versus going with her movement. I wanted it to look just straight. My gosh, there's a lot, guys. Okay, let's see. This is, I guess, technically another self-portrait. I think I like this one better because of the dress. I like this style a lot. I feel like I want to draw on this style again. This face, yeah. She's cute. Here we got some, I don't know what you want to call it. Okay, girl. Little chubbiness. I was in a very dark place when I drew this. I know that for a fact. And I love her. I love her. She's so cute though. She looks like she's like on the verge of dying. I'm pretty sure this is supposed to be Liza Minnelli. It looks like it, so that would make sense. I don't really draw like real people, but sometimes I will. Rarely. There's a lot of bling pages right here for some reason. Here's this one. I love her. I think she's one of my favorites. A lot of these are my favorites. I like my own work, which I know a lot of artists don't. I mean, I hate a lot of my work, but I love a lot of my work too. Watercolor and ink and Sharpie for some reason. Here we have Sharpie and a pencil, which is kind of weird. I don't know why I did that. Should have been ink and paint. Let's see. I don't want to overwhelm you guys because I have more. I don't think there's much else in this book. I like drawing nudies. Sorry. Just eyes, practicing eyes. Look at those lashes. Oh my god. Very nice. And I did this cute little baby face. This was last year. So here we are. We're in the more recent time. But I didn't really keep going. I drew a couple, but I didn't like them. You know, like there's this weird girl. Just wasn't my favorite. And that's it for the notebook. So that's almost a decade of, oh, that's not my sticker. That's almost a decade of sketches in here. So let's look at the larger ones. These are in like no particular order because I didn't organize them. This is my favorite paper. Let's talk about paper. Because I like to use watercolors and I like to use acrylic. The paper that I use is pretty important. A lot of the sketchbooks don't really handle this that great. And then eventually got to a point where I was selling my originals and I wasn't going to sell them from my sketchbook. So I started drawing on this, and this is Bristol paper, and it's like thick and just like flat and smooth. I love it. Watercolor paper tends to be textured. I don't like that. I like to have it smooth. Oh no, did I just do that? I don't know. So here's this girl. I don't think I've ever scanned her or nothing. This one's a more recent one. I think it's from last year, perhaps, or the year before. But it's not super old. So yeah, these are all gonna be on Bristol paper. I use microns. Well, I sketch with a pencil. I sketch with a mechanical pencil. I trace with a micron. I erase the mechanical pencil. Then I do the watercolor. And then once that's like dry, then I'll do the acrylic for the larger parts. This one's not my favorite. A little funky. Usually if you see some that like are similar, then that means that I drew them around the same time. And I did start drawing on these paper, on this Bristol paper that, you know, I could take out of the book specifically to be able to sell it. I like to sketch big. That's what makes me happy. But I don't sell originals anymore because I sold a lot of my favorites and I regret it. And I wish I still had them. And I sold pieces to people that ended up not being very nice. And I don't know, it just feels like there's a part of me in all of my work. And to have someone own it feels scary. It feels scary to me. So it has to be someone like, I want to be able to trust you. And if I feel like I can't trust you, then like that's a problem. But the thing is, you don't always know who buys your work. Or sometimes you know, you sell to someone who has like, you know, a large following, so you think they're gonna appreciate your work and then they don't, or they're rude or whatever, and that sucks. And then it just like, you're just like, well, they own a piece of my work, therefore a piece of me, and that's not the best feeling. So I think if you're like an artist and you sell originals, I don't know, maybe it's just me, maybe I get like weirdly attached to things. But I don't know, it's just how I feel. And so I decided the best thing to do was to kind of like protect myself. And if I do sell originals, it'll be to someone that I love or admire, admire and trust. Like, I want to be able to trust you with my work. If I know that you're gonna like throw it away or resell it, like I don't want you near my work. And some people have resold my originals and that breaks my heart. So yeah, don't do that. Don't do that, okay? This one I love. It is all acrylic. I didn't sketch anything. I just started painting. And I was like, I'm going to see if I can do this. I wanted it to be a bit more abstract. And I love her so much. And I don't know why I like don't share her more. Someone was interested in purchasing her, but I don't know if I can part with her. And although this person was someone that like I admire a lot, they're like in a band that I've loved since I was a kid, but this was the first time that I ever did anything like without a sketch, just went for it with a paint and a brush. And I think it means too much for me to just let her go like that. But now that I'm looking at it, I'd love to do more in that style. I think that would be really, really fun right now. Here is, it's just black. Well, it's ink and then acrylic. I don't think I ever posted this. I do like her, but I didn't want to give her any details. But now that I'm looking at it, I think I want to go back and watercolor her because she looks a bit bland. So these are all originals. These are not prints. These are originals. This one I didn't use acrylic because I wanted to, if you can see the highlights in the hair, I wanted it to be very like full of lines, and I didn't think I could do it with acrylic, so yeah. Oh, this one's cool because I don't know if you can see. I use a gold what do you call it? Like for gilding, I think it's called. This after, I think after, or maybe before I drew it, I stained it with coffee. This is coffee stained. It used to smell, but it doesn't anymore. I don't think I ever shared her. This one might be from 2016, as well as this one. So they look a bit similar because they're from the same time. This I used charcoal, ink, and watercolor. The only acrylic was for the white highlights. This one the same as charcoal. Oh, you know what? It's charcoal, and then I went over it with acrylic. Original. These are all originals that I just don't even store correctly, which I probably should. I should have them like a fireproof, waterproof box, but I don't. Here's Nosferatu. This is the original Nosferatu, and he's quite small. He's a little guy, but he's my favorite. I will never sell that. Just putting that out there. This is just flimsy paper. Sometimes I just, you gotta just practice drawing and take what you can get, whatever's on your desk. Some of these I'm like, oh, I never even shared them. Ew, because I like them so much and they're so cute. Look at her. She looks kind of bitchy. Okay, this one's a bit, NSFW. This one is on a like shiny, pearly cardstock, if you can see. It's a bit difficult to draw on, but the result is very, very pretty. Because this is not a print. This is the original. A print on that paper though would also probably be very pretty. Here's another just sheet of paper. I think her name is Claude. I love her. I like the mustache. This is probably one of the first times I put a mustache, and I really liked it. This one goes with the other drawing with the long hair. Maybe also from 2016 or 2017. So these are a little bit older. but I always loved them. They were meant to be part of a series, and I just never finished it. Just random sketchies. More random sketchies. This is unfinished, didn't like her. These were commissioned for a poetry book that a client was doing. I never saw the book, but I know I think she self-published it. I really wish I could see it. Don't know if I ever shared these. Okay, this is actually from 2015. This is from 2015. So she's in color, and she's very cutesy. I mean, she's not the worst thing in the world, but cannot relate to this anymore. And here's like a huge difference from the last one. Yup. That, oh, is that it from here? Okay, and now we have some newer ones. And these are very recent, I think from this year. So let's 10 years. 10 years, guys. That is it. I know there's another one that I recently drew. I'll put it right here. Yeah, that's it. That's my whole life. No. That's a lot of my work. I know that there's more. There's obviously work from 2011 to 2015 that I'm not really interested in showing because I don't relate to it. Maybe in the future. Sometimes I sell prints of that work, but I don't consider it like my artwork anymore. I just consider it something that I did. It made me money. I sold prints of it, and it is cutesy patootsy, but I don't know if I really like need to make a big old video about it. And this is a super long video already, guys, so like, yeah, my art has gone through a lot of changes, but I think the last few years I feel like I've found my voice as an artist and what I want to do and who I am and what I want to show. And right now I feel like we're getting to a good place. I haven't really been drawing, so I'm trying to get back into it, and I'm hoping that this video will help. I'm also trying to get like into YouTube, but it's kind of hard for me. I like lose motivation so easily. Okay, but yeah, we're gonna keep trying. Okay, we're gonna try. So if you have any questions about my art or being an artist or whatever having to do with art, let me know. If you want to see a video like this about my photography, that would also be kind of fun because my photography has this like an even longer history than my art. So yeah, that's it, guys. That's the video. Okay, so see you next time. Bye bye.